Good evening, everyone. You're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Shivani Gupta. On Sunday, when the entire nation was paying tribute to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and celebrating his birth anniversary, new Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge's aide Gaurav Pandhi called the former PM a British informer. This tweet, remember, came after it was announced that Rahul Gandhi, the former Congress chief, will be paying tribute to Atal Bihari Vajpayee at his Samadhi in Delhi. That visit eventually took place today morning. Needless to say, the BJP is up in arms against the duplicity in the Congress stand. One leader is respecting the former PM, while the other is attacking the former PM. While the tweet may have been deleted, did it end up poking holes in the Pyar Ki Rajniti that Rahul Gandhi is talking about? We debate that in just a bit.
As his Bharat Jodo Yatra takes a week-long break, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi visited the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and paid tribute to the former Prime Minister. Ahead of the visit, Congress had promoted the event as one that is in keeping with the spirit of the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
आपके नफरत के बाजार में हम मोहब्बत की दुकान खोलने आए हैं.
But while Rahul Gandhi is preaching love, his party men are spewing hate. In a now deleted tweet, which he had posted on Vajpayee's birth anniversary, AICC coordinator Gaurav Pandhi claimed that Vajpayee worked as a British informer during the Quit India movement. He also alleged that be it the Nellie massacre or the demolition of Babri Masjid, Vajpayee played an important role in inciting mobs. Pandhi claimed there is a reason why the BJP likens Prime Minister Modi with Gandhi or Patel, but never Vajpayee.
भारत के बारे में दुनिया का नजरिया उस समय से बदला था. ये कांग्रेस की आदत बनी है. ये एक परिवार तक सीमित पार्टी है.
कांग्रेस पार्टी का संस्कार ही यही है, अटल जी को अपमानित करना, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को अपमानित करना, और वही काम अब मोदी जी के साथ कर रहे हैं.
While the BJP upped the ante, Congress tried to downplay Pandhi's tweet.
राहुल गांधी जी या कांग्रेस पार्टी संस्थागत रूप से कुछ करती है तो वही पार्टी की विचारधारा है और वही पार्टी का स्टैंड है. किसी ने किसी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर क्या कहा, जो कि अब डिलीट भी हो चुका है मेरी जानकारी के अनुसार, मुझे नहीं लगता वो चीज मायने रखती.
But the damage has already been done. Does Gaurav Pandhi's tweet against Vajpayee expose the double standards of Rahul Gandhi's love politics?
Let's go across to the guests who are joining us. Tohin Sinha from the BJP, Lavanya Balal from the Congress Party, Kailash Adhikari is Governance Now MD, and Rashid Kidwai is author and senior journalist, tracks the Congress Party very closely. In fact, Rashid, I want to start with you. Has Gaurav Pandhi's tweet, especially after the announcement that Rahul Gandhi will be paying tribute to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which he eventually did, ended up embarrassing the Congress Party?
Yes, Shivani, in a way. But let's not forget that what the leadership says, or the top leadership says, that stands. I mean, we have so many reckless statements by Giriraj saying, or several others. But what Prime Minister Modi says, what Mr. Amit Shah says, that that stands, that articulates the government position on many contentious issues. So that is it. I think Congress has always been very curious about Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But Shivani, I want to say that this attempt by Rahul Gandhi to visit at Samadhi is laced with some kind of politics or politicking. He is trying to make a distinction between Vajpayee-led BJP and Narendra Modi-led BJP, and perhaps with an eye on future. I mean, we journalists tend to speculate a lot, and that's what I'm doing. But he is looking at 2024 scenario as well.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I'll discuss that a little bit more on the very move of visiting Atal Bihari Vajpayee's Samadhi, because this can be seen as a departure for the Congress bigwigs as well, as far as this visit is concerned. And no doubt, the rest of the Congress party, or the rank and file of the Congress party, doesn't seem to be agreeing with the message that perhaps Rahul Gandhi was sending. So let me begin with let me go across to our political representatives now. Lavanya Balal, the issue that is being talked about today, for example, what the BJP is raising is that you cannot at one level have your senior leadership respect a person while they may be, the rank and file or the lower workers. But this man, Gaurav Pandhi, is, for example, associated with the new Congress chief, Mallikarjun Kharge's office. So he's not an absolute outsider or a nobody. So why is it that the Congress party is failing to rein in its own party men and is seeming a little squirmish about the tweet that Gaurav Pandhi made, which is now deleted? Why not take action if you disagree with what he said?
See, all of those people who are commenting about how Rahulji is visiting Vajpayee's resting place is a political move seem to have forgotten the close relationship that Rahul Gandhiji, Sonia Gandhi has shared with Vajpayee and his family, and also how close a relationship Rajiv Gandhiji had with Vajpayee. They had mutual respect and understanding, and we all know the kind of helping hand they, I think, extended towards Vajpayee in the time of his health crisis. Vajpayee, though he was a bitter opposition leader of Indira Gandhi in the parliament, he also had lots of words of praise. It was not so divisive earlier in those times. And I think Rahul Gandhiji visiting Vajpayee's resting place shows that he respects him as a great Prime Minister.
Yes, but his own partymen don't seem to be echoing that respect. That's the question I'm asking you. I'm not questioning why Rahul Gandhi visited Atal Bihari Vajpayee's Samadhi. That move is welcome because we must pay respect to all of our former Prime Ministers. But that same respect is not coming in from the from congressmen himself.
Yeah, I was commenting because the previous speaker seemed to say that, it was a political move. It is not a political move.
Okay.
It is a very normal thing to do for any Indian who respects former prime ministers without calling them names or abusing them. Having said that, Gaurav Pandhi has made a statement about Vajpayee not participating in Fit India movement and stuff like that. And I'm sure he has been reprimanded by the party, and that is why you do not see that tweet anymore. And it is his personal opinion. If it was a party
If it was
opinion,
his personal
I'm sure
opinion, why did he have to go ahead and delete it? And secondly, when you say you are sure he has been reprimanded, what does that mean? Surely that action has to be seen as well.
Absolutely. See, it is like this. Today, Pragya Thakur in Karnataka says, you should keep knives and whatnots in your houses so that you can behead people. Does that mean the BJP leadership accepts that? Is it the BJP party stand?
No, I'm asking you, does the Congress leadership accept the statement that Gaurav Pandhi has made or disapprove of it?
Absolutely not. If we had accepted that statement, you wouldn't have seen our leader at Vajpayee's resting place, would you?
Then why not act against Gaurav Pandhi? That's the question I'm asking. Since Gaurav Pandhi...
You see them there.
Okay, but fair enough. Lavanya, I have a pointed question. I have a pointed question for you.
Is it because they are okay with Sabhi?
Lavanya, I have a pointed question. I'm not going to indulge in whataboutery because, I don't think that helps the debate.
Comparison.
No, I'm not interested in comparisons right now. First, I want to get a clarification. Lavanya, first I want to get a clear response from you. You are saying the Congress party does not approve of the stand that Gaurav Pandhi has taken. Given his proximity to the new Congress chief's office, why is it that the Congress party is not reprimanding him in public? Isn't that the message that the Congress party would like to send out?
Absolutely. That's a very good question. The same question applies to BJP as well. Why doesn't it reprimand?
You are the party that is talking about love. You are the party whose former Congress chief has gone to Atal Bihari Vajpayee's Samadhi today. I don't know whether what BJP does explains what the Congress party's response is or should be. You don't compare yourself to the BJP, right? You believe that the BJP is playing politics of hate. You are playing politics of love. I have a very simple question for you. If you disapprove of what Gaurav Pandhi has said about the former Prime Minister, why not take action against him that can be seen by the public? Why is the Congress party feeling so squirmish about it?
Okay, why do you need to see an action taken against a party worker?
Because that sets the precedent.
How many times do you see that happening across different parties?
Because that sets the precedent, and that tells you what the party's line is. That sets a precedent.
Sorry?
I'm saying the action is required or asked for because that sets the precedent. That tells you categorically what the party believes in.
See, I appreciate that you have such high hopes from the Congress. I also appreciate the fact, I understand the fact that you have zero hopes about the same action from the BJP.
I'm not discussing the BJP today. I'm not going to mix issues. And I'm not going to give you an alibi on the shoulder of the BJP when you claim you're better than the BJP.
We are very clear. We respect Vajpayee. We differ with him ideologically, but we have huge respect for Vajpayee as a person. And that is exactly why you see all our senior leadership, including Khargeji, paying respects to Vajpayee ji.
Okay,
That
Tuhin
is the
Sinha?
party stand.
Tuhin
And
Sinha,
how will
Rahul
they
Gandhi
take
has
action
visited
against
Atal Bihari
Gaurav
Vajpayee's
Pandhi?
Samadhi.
It
That
is
should be
something
enough
that
for
I
the
am not
for the
privy to
BJP.
at this point of time.
What Gaurav Pandhi says in a now deleted tweet is not the issue here. The issue here is what Rahul Gandhi is doing and the message that he is sending.
Good evening, Shivani. Good evening to all the viewers. The present-day Congress party has a toxic habit of vilifying and denigrating ad nauseum anybody, any national icon who doesn't subscribe to their ideology. So, where is the crux of the problem? The crux of the problem is Rahul Gandhi setting a certain pattern by repeatedly spreading canards and vilifying Veer Savarkar. And that is where the lesser mortals in the party get inspiration from. So ideally today, apart from just visiting the Samadhi of Vajpayee ji, Rahul Gandhi should give an undertaking to the country that henceforth he will not vilify Savarkar or any other national icon who doesn't belong to the Congress party.
No, why? Rahul Gandhi is allowed to have his view on Savarkar?
That is where you, is that Shivani?
Yes, that is me. I'm saying, why do you want this guarantee from Rahul Gandhi? We are a diverse country. He's allowed to have his view on Savarkar. You counter that view.
No, that is where they get, people like Pandhi get their inspiration from. They think that it is their birthright to divide freedom fighters between our freedom fighters and their freedom fighters. And, this divide is not healthy. Let me make a more important point over here. What is the core of these statements coming from Congress leaders? They think that the freedom movement was the personal fiefdom of the Congress party. No, it was not. Freedom movement in this country has been going on from the 1780s. Tilka Majhi, a tribal freedom fighter, was the first freedom fighter. There were hordes and scores of freedom fighters throughout the early part of the 19th century when the Congress was not even born. So the Congress needs to get it clear that we have never claimed ownership over freedom fighters, and neither should the Congress party. They should respect the sentiment with which each person fought for the freedom of the country. That's the most important point. And since he has raised questions about Vajpayee ji, let me ask the Congress party today, have they ever stood for the revolutionaries, even for Subhash Chandra Bose, who at one point of time was very much a part of their own party? Have they ever stood for Chandrasekhar Azad? Have they ever stood for Shahid Bhagat Singh? So they don't have any right to give certificates of participation to other people, and that is the more important point over here.
Okay. Kailash Adhikari, the issue here also is that if this was a personal opinion that in no way contradicted the party line or embarrassed the party line, which the Congress seems to be suggesting that, there is no need to pay attention to it, then why did Gaurav Pandhi delete his tweet? Do you think that there's mens rea associated with that? He ended up embarrassing the party?
Absolutely, Shivani, he did. And the Congress of late, in its quest to counter the Bharatiya Janata Party, is blurring all lines of decency. I mean, they are bereft of morality, and this comes right from the top. Your newly anointed president of the Congress party, the way in public rallies, even in off and on parliament, the way he has addressed to the Honorable Prime Minister, we have all seen and we have debated about it. So this has now become, the culture of the Congress party, and they are now becoming a habitual offender. In the beginning, Shivani, you said that, he's not a nobody, but I would, with all usually due respect, Mr. Pandhi, I mean, we are too all small to talk about late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. He's a statesman. And this is not what I am saying. I mean, the world knows about it. I mean, we can all talk about what kind of a person and what contributions late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji had for India. He had India in his veins, but I feel I'm too small, to talk about him. And what ground does Mr. Pandhi have, or who is he? I'd like to say this very blatantly, to even comment on for about late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji.
Also because he made the allegation, Rashid Kidwai, that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was guilty of inciting mobs. I'm just wondering, why isn't Gaurav Pandhi talking about the Congress leaders who played a role in 1984 anti-Sikh riots, for example? Were they not guilty of inciting mobs? In fact, several of them were seen on the streets in the national capital. So if inciting mobs is something being used against a former prime minister who's never been accused of this, there are several Congress leaders who've been either accused, investigated, or even convicted of their role. Rashid Kidwai. Lavanya, I'll come to you. Rashid Kidwai. No, Rashid Kidwai, please let him go ahead.
Yeah, so Shivani, we have a very, checkered contemporary history. There are instances where academics have written something. There are something that a political belief is there of political parties like the Congress and the BJP, etc. I don't see much of a problem in the sense that the tweet has been deleted. It is for Mr. Pandhi to regret it. If Rahul Gandhi has said something glowing about former Prime Minister Atal Vajpayee, it should be welcome, because this is the kind of political culture we have. This is how a discourse should take place in vibrant democracy. I think we are reading too much into what Mr. Gaurav Pandhi had said or not.
But he hasn't issued a clarification. I won't read much into it. If he had issued a clarification or shown regret, all he's done is very quietly deleted the tweet, because possibly of the fact that it was attracting so much negative attention on the party, especially when Rahul Gandhi was visiting the former Prime Minister's Samadhi.
A.G. Nurani had written it in the front line. So there are a lot of things are there. What I'm saying is the Congress has a history. When Mani Shankar Iyer, as Congress spokesman way back in, I think in 1998-99, he had described Prime Minister Vajpayee as Dalak. He was removed as party spokesperson. So there is a legacy. There are instances where Congress has acted against its party spokespersons and all. It is for the Congress to take a call. But I think we are reading too much into it. If somebody has said it and regretted it and deleted it, I think that should end.
They've not regretted it. I'm not sure I can say that about Gaurav Pandhi. He hasn't said anything in regret. He hasn't said he regrets the comment or apologizes for it. He's just simply deleted it. But the other question I wanted to discuss with you, Rashid Kidwai, is that hasn't Rahul Gandhi is very overt, like Lavanya is talking about how there was always mutual respect between Vajpayee ji and Congress leaders. I take that on face value, but the very overt gesture of visiting his Samadhi. Lavanya, I'll come to you. 1 second. One second.
No, I would like to interrupt. Don't take it at face value. It is a fact. It is a fact.
Okay, why are you getting so angry?
Vajpayee ji's family and their relationship between the Gandhi family and Vajpayee ji's family. Please don't take it at face value. I really want to put things on record and say this is not face value.
There's no need for you to get so angry. I'm just saying that you have said this on this show, and I'm taking on from your comment.
I also trust that people are doing their homework before they speak.
Okay, Lavanya, can you not interrupt anymore? I think you've made your point heard now. Can I go ahead, please, with your kind permission? Rashid Kidwai, the issue that I was discussing or coming to is that the very overt gesture of Rahul Gandhi visiting the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, do you think that has made other Congress leaders rank and file, maybe not very top leaders, maybe some top leaders, some spokesperson level leaders, party workers uncomfortable because of, let's say the role that they would see Atal Bihari Vajpayee having played in the quote-unquote Hindutva movement in India? Has it made the Congress party a little uncomfortable?
Absolutely, Shivani, you are spot on, because the Congress and the BJP, the ideological gulf is very vast. They're the two sides of the river were supposed to, not meet, not converge at any point of time. But when Rahul Gandhi is doing it, that's what I said in the beginning, it reeks of some kind of politicization. He is trying to make a distinction between, Vajpayee kind of, BJP and Narendra Modi brand of BJP. And I must tell you what had happened in 1978 when the Jansangh and Janata Party were there, part of that government. Sanjay Gandhi, he went and met Raj Narayan and Charan Singh and created a division between that time Prime Minister Morarji Desai and Charan Singh, and that led to the fall of Janata Party government, and Charan Singh came, and then of course Indira Gandhi came in. So I am saying the Congress is looking at the past instances of trying to it's too early to say, setting some kind of, cat among the pigeons or so, and sensing some kind of opportunity on a premise that in 2024 there may not be, absolute majority. So if there is no absolute majority, then of course there would be all kind of bargaining and compromises would be made. This is an indication of a very early indication.
So you're saying paying respect to Atal Bihari Vajpayee is one of those measures by which they can bring in other parties on board?
Some opening has to be made, Shivani. If you make a distinction that there are in the BJP, there are people who are wedded to the ideology of Vajpayee ji, which was perhaps more tolerant, more inclusive, and there is a thing of the legacy of Prime Minister Atal Bihari, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. So I am saying the Congress.
So the distinction between the two BJPs. Can I quickly get a comment from Kailash Adhikari as well? Do you believe that distinction will work politically if that is the intention, as Rashid Kidwai is saying?
Not at all. I mean, the voter of this nation, as well as we as citizens, we are quite, quite intelligent in that fact that trying to divide between Atalji's BJP or Modiji's BJP, I mean, that will not work. I mean, if someone is thinking in other political parties, I think that's a very naive, thing.
Okay. Tuhin Sinha, I want to bring you in on this. What Rashid Kidwai is suggesting, that ultimately what Rahul Gandhi is striking at, that we can respect BJP and BJP leaders who have come from the same RSS background and the Hindutva movement, but there is still a difference between what Vajpayee stood for and what today's BJP stands for.
Well, Rashid Bhai is being too kind to Rahul Gandhi, or maybe he's overestimating Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is not such a nuanced person. He's a person who has deep-rooted hatred for anybody who does not subscribe to his ideology. And this is what his party has been doing. But the larger point still remains, I can quote Ambedkar on the Quit India movement. Ambedkar completely disagreed with Gandhiji on the Quit India movement. So tomorrow will the Congress party start, vilifying Ambedkar also? I think the Congress party needs to be a little more respectful towards those points of view which are still nationalist, which are absolutely nationalist, but which are not necessarily Congress points of view. So that is the larger issue, but unfortunately, the Congress has zero tolerance for them.
Lavanya, can you respond to that? That ultimately the quote-unquote love politics will not succeed till you start giving respect to all those historical figures who've had a role to play in nation building in India, even if you disagree with them.
We will tell the truth. The truth is Savarkar did not participate in Quit India movement. We would like BJP to tell us the 5 different freedom movements that Mr. Savarkar was a part of. So he cannot say, you need to respect Savarkar when there are reasons why we cannot respect him for certain reasons, not always. Now, when he talks about Subhash Chandra Bose, does he also realize Savarkar participated in an action where he was recruiting people for the British Army against the NIA? There are a lot of reasons. No, when BJP is trying to bully everybody to buy their agenda, we cannot agree with that if it is an anti-national agenda. As simple as that.
Okay, Tuhin wants to respond to that.
It is the fiefdom of this nation, sir. It is the fiefdom of this nation who have sacrificed their lives for the freedom of this nation. Please give me a list of BJP
I think the point that Tuhin Sinha is making is that there were several people who were opposed to the Congress party as it stood at that time, but still contributed to the freedom movement. Yes, Tuhin, continue.
Let me exactly quote what Ambedkar said on the Quit India movement. The Quit India movement is both irresponsible and insane, showing bankruptcy of statesmanship. Freedom struggle led by the governing class from the point of view of survived class is selfish and a sham struggle. So I'm very pointedly asking both Rashid Bhai and the Congress representative over here, tomorrow, are you going to start abusing Ambedkar just because he did not agree with Gandhiji or just because he did not agree with the Congress party on one movement? Why was it incumbent upon Savarkar to be a part of that one movement? Everybody, all freedom fighters have contributed in their own way, and that is where I'm asking the Congress party, when did you come in support of Chandrasekhar Azad? When did you come in support of Shahid Bhagat Singh?
Okay.
When did you come out in support of Khudiram Bose? So who are you? What authority do you have to distribute certificates of participation to others?
Okay.
This is what the does not understand, and this is what shows their entitled mindset.
Yeah, and Lavanya, let me connect that to what's happening today. I don't want to go across to history alone, but I am saying that today Congress party's former president Rahul Gandhi, who is arguably the biggest face of the Congress party, is running this Bharat Jodo Yatra, is talking about love politics. How does vilifying certain former historical figures fit into this politics?
Here's a simple thing. You had a lot of naysayers to Gandhi. You had a lot of people disagreeing with Bose. You had a lot of people disagreeing with Nehru. You have a lot of BJP leaders today, creating fake stories about Nehru and, trying to tarnish his image. That does not mean that their contribution has gone down the drain. Their contribution stays the same. It's the same thing with Vajpayee. We respect
But
Vajpayee.
what about Savarkar
yes,
then? There are documents and documents
statement.
available, for example, that Savarkar played his role against the British in his own way. He disagreed with the mainstream.
How did he do that? How did he do that? Was it when he was living in the house provided to him by the British, or was it when he was asking for more pension from the British that was given to him?
But all jailed people got pensions at that time.
Was it then that he was he was, participating in the Indian freedom struggle. When did he participate in the Indian freedom struggle? And let us be clear, why was he in Andaman jail? He was in Andaman jail on criminal charges. Please look into that case where he was charged with criminal offence, and that is why he was sent to Andaman jail and not as a political prisoner.
What was that criminal offence that he was charged with?
We respect Vajpayee ji, and our leaders respect Vajpayee ji. It need not be read as a political movement or there is some kind of hidden agenda. It is simple,
okay, you said
clear
that.
thing.
You said Savarkar was jailed for a criminal act. Can you tell me what was that criminal act?
I will read it out to you. Just give me a minute if you have time. It was about a station that was burnt during that time. Do you want me to go into it? Do you have time for that?
You figure it out. I'll give Tohin Sinha some time to respond to that in the meantime. Savarkar is different than Vajpayee, is what Lavanya is saying.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
And that is where time and again they are showcasing their entitled mindset that they will be choosy about the freedom fighters they respect. But our point of view is that irrespective of the way you fought, it was the emotion which mattered, and every single individual who fought for the freedom of the country needs to be respected. We are not doling out certificates, and neither should you. That is the simple point that I'm making.
Final word to Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, ultimately, I think our politics also need to grow and mature, where we need to understand that from Nehru to Gandhi to Ambedkar to Vajpayee to Savarkar to Bhagat Singh, all of our historical heroes had shades of grey. There are issues you could pick you could selectively pick about them, which could show them in poor light. But it is the larger role that they played for the movement in India and for the building of a new independent India that matters. That level of maturity that every historical figure has shades of grey, or, we need to accept them warts and all, that possibly is the, defining line where everybody starts giving certificates.
I think, Shivani, that is where our major political parties lack that kind of maturity. They tend to look at with in black and white at our heroes, or so to say the villains are concerned, and they are absolutely certain about their position that they take, that so and so was very good and so was very bad. We don't see that politicians, public figures, they tend to, their personalities evolve. There is a shade of grey. There are some very good side, and we look at it holistically. I mean, in my view, there are 3 prime ministers in India who are greatly loved by people of India, and Indira Gandhi was one, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee was another, regardless of the political affiliation of these two individuals. So these things are there. We must accept. Somebody can question me on that, but that is my point of view. As I should respect your point of view. That's how democracy works. If I am so certain that what I feel is my heroes and others are all wrong, then actually I am wrong in effect, because we have seen so many highs and lows in the entire thing. Somebody can say Indira Gandhi was a towering personality. Somebody can turn around and look at emergency and say that she was dictatorial. But truth, as you know, lies somewhere in between.
Yeah. All right. I'll leave it at that. I do thank our guests for joining us for our debate number 1. Moving on. Battle of one-upmanship continues between Maharashtra and Karnataka over the Belgavi border dispute. And adding fuel to fire are some of the BJP opponents who are mounting pressure not only with ground presence and protests, but also demands on a daily basis. Now, Uddhav Thackeray has set the cat amongst the pigeons by saying that Belgavi should in fact be made a union territory till a Supreme Court verdict on this long-standing dispute.
सर्वोच्च न्यायालयामध्ये या विषयाचा निकाल लागत नाही तोपर्यंत हा संपूर्ण भाग केंद्रशासित झाला पाहिजे. कानडीचा अत्याचार हा तिकडे थांबलाच पाहिजे.
Remember, this is becoming a bone of contention not between two states like Maharashtra and Karnataka, for whom it is a long-standing legal and political issue, but also for the BJP, because in both states currently there is a BJP government. In Maharashtra, of course, a BJP alliance government with the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. So despite the Home Minister's insistence that everybody should calm down and cool tempers and wait till the Supreme Court judgment? On ground, we are seeing escalation of the Belgavi dispute, not just by BJP members on both sides, for example, the governments on both sides who are engaging in a battle of one-upmanship, resolutions being passed in assembly, etc., statements being made on a regular day. But opposition in both states are also lending to this protesting because they want to mount pressure on the BJP that is in power in center and in both of these states currently. So why isn't a resolution coming? Let me go across to some of our guests who are joining us. Rajalakshmi Joshi is a political analyst based in Maharashtra. What do you make of this demand that Uddhav Thackeray has now made that actually make Belgavi a UT till a judgment comes?
Good evening. It is quite obvious that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, he doesn't have really much, to actually stay relevant politically in Maharashtra, and that is why he's coming up with all these kind of issues. Because, very clearly, the Home Minister, Amit Shah ji, he has appealed to everybody to maintain calm and peace, and he has said that the matter is in court and this should be resolved amicably. And in spite of that, these Mr. Uddhav Thackeray and Mr. Sharad Pawar also, with all his experience and all his wisdom, what did they do in the last 2.5 years when they were actually in the government? They did nothing. At that time, that was not a very important issue. It was not a significant issue at that time. But now suddenly they want to actually focus on it as if, it is the most relevant and the most important matter of the day. So, he's clearly trying to gain political brownie points out of all this. And that is the only thing that I can see. Because he has nothing else, no other issues. And, he obviously wants to, he wants to appeal to this kind of a linguistic passion of the people.
Okay. Let me go across to Abhishek Agnihotri, who's a Shiv Sena leader from the Uddhav Thackeray faction. Abhishek, the obvious question that will come to Uddhav Thackeray, who's the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, is that you were in power for 2.5 years. Why is it that this suggestion never came from him when he was the Chief Minister?
क्वेश्चन काफी अच्छा आपने रेज किया है। जाहिर सी बात है, किसी भी सूबे के मुख्यमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि उसकी सीमाएं जो है सुनिश्चित होनी चाहिए, उसकी जो भी राज्य है। लेकिन कहीं न कहीं आपको ये भी जानकारी होगी कि जो 2.5 साल हमारे माननीय उद्धव साहब ठाकरे जी का कार्यकाल रहा, उसके दरमियान जो केंद्रीय सरकार थी और उनके लोग जो थे, नुमाइंदे थे, वो किस तरह का काम, मतलब उनको क्या डिस्टर्बेंस के बिना काम उनको किसी प्रकार करने दे रहे थे, या किसी प्रकार की जो हेल्दी टॉक होनी चाहिए थी इस मुद्दे पे, वो कभी इस चीज की पहल केंद्रीय सरकार ने नहीं की। लेकिन कहीं न कहीं ये एक मुख्य मुद्दा है महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट के लिए, साथ ही महाराष्ट्र के लोगों के लिए। ये सीमा विवाद कोई आज का नया नहीं है, बड़ा पुराना विवाद है, और इसमें कहीं न कहीं केंद्रीय सरकार प्लस राज्य सरकार, इन दोनों की सहमति के साथ प्लस
नहीं, तो यही तो सवाल मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ ना अभिषेक। ये मुद्दा तो आज का नहीं है, बहुत दशकों पुराना मुद्दा है। उद्धव ठाकरे चीफ मिनिस्टर रहे थे, चाहे केंद्र में सरकार उनकी साथी सरकार नहीं रही हो, लेकिन एज चीफ मिनिस्टर सजेशन तो वो तब भी दे सकते थे, केंद्र पे प्रेशर बना सकते थे। ये सजेशन आज क्यों?
नहीं, केंद्र सरकार के बिना हस्तक्षेप के संभव नहीं था, और केंद्रीय ताकतें,
केंद्र सरकार ने तो आज भी कुछ नहीं बोला बेलगावी पे। केंद्र सरकार तो अभी भी नहीं बोल रही है बेलगावी पे।
वो नहीं बोलेंगे, लेकिन कहीं न कहीं उनका स्टैंड बड़ा क्लियर रहेगा, बैक हैंड से पूरा का पूरा उन्हीं का स्टैंड रहेगा।
क्या स्टैंड रहेगा बताइए?
वो केंद्र जो भी अब बैठ के बात उसमें करनी, जो भी है, जैसा इस समय क्या ना कि केंद्र सरकार पूरा सपोर्ट कर रही है वहां के मुख्यमंत्री को, और जब तक
मुख्यमंत्री की बात कर रहे हैं आप?
जी,
किस मुख्यमंत्री की बात कर रहे हैं आप? किसको सपोर्ट कर रही है केंद्र सरकार?
अब कहीं न कहीं ये हमारे मुंह से क्या है कि हमारी ही जो है डाली से टूटे हुए पत्ते हैं, उनको हम क्या उनका नाम लेके हम यहाँ पे आपको बताएं?
नहीं, बट आप ऐसे इशारों में बात मत कीजिए ना। आप ही एलिगेशन लगा रहे हैं, तो आप क्लियरली बोलिए ना। मैं तो जो बोल सकती हूँ वो ये है कि केंद्र सरकार ने तो क्लियरली मैसेज दिया है, होम मिनिस्टर ने, कि आप इस इश्यू को अभी बढ़ाइए मत, जब तक का सुप्रीम कोर्ट का वर्डिक्ट नहीं आ जाता, उसके बाद ही कुछ हो सकता है। लेकिन मैं आपसे जो सवाल पूछ रही हूँ, आप उसका तो जवाब दीजिए। मैं सवाल आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि एज अ चीफ मिनिस्टर, एक सेकंड अभिषेक एक सेकंड, एज अ चीफ मिनिस्टर आप अपने इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज उठा सकते हैं, चाहे दूसरे की कोई भी सरकार हो। जब 2.5 साल के लिए उद्धव ठाकरे चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, तब तो उन्होंने एक बार भी बेलगावी के बारे में बात नहीं करी, तब तो ये सजेशन नहीं किया। क्या उन्होंने कोई लेटर लिखा केंद्र सरकार को? क्या उन्होंने कोई पहल करी? तो आज करिए तो यही कहेंगे ना लोग कि पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, पॉलिटिक्स में देखो, राजनीतिक जो भी संगठन सभी पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, लेकिन कहने मतलब राजनीति का भी एक नैतिकता का अपना कर्तव्य होता है, उनकी जिम्मेदारियां होती हैं। केंद्र सरकार ने किस तरह से पूरे 2.5 साल तक उनको कार्य करने का क्या खुले हाथों से उनको स्वतंत्रता दी, कभी
लेकिन उद्धव ठाकरे ने तो सब कुछ वो किया ना जो वो करना चाहते थे अपनी सरकार में। ये तो कोई एक्सक्यूज नहीं है।
कह सकते कि वो तो माननीय उद्धव साहब ठाकरे तो 5 साल में महाराष्ट्र को पता नहीं कहां से कहां ले जाना चाहते, उनके विकास की पूरी जो है एक परिपाटी उन्होंने लिखी हुई थी, लेकिन कहां काम करने दिया केंद्रीय सरकार, केंद्रीय ताकतों ने।
लेकिन अगर वो पहल करते या ये सजेशन करते तो वो तो कोई नहीं रोक रहा था उनको। राजलक्ष्मी वांट्स टू कम इन। यस, गो अहेड राजलक्ष्मी।
So is the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena faction spokesperson claiming on national television that the Uddhav Thackeray government has not done anything in the 2.5 years because the center, the reason obviously is the accusation being that the center did not allow them. But
I am not talking about all that.
That he has not done anything.
I am not talking about that. I am talking about especially at this topic.
He's actually admitting that he has been a total failure as a chief minister. That is exactly what the spokesperson is claiming, that he has not been able to do anything.
I am not talking about all that topics. मैं सिर्फ इस टॉपिक के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ, ना कि हम किसी और टॉपिक के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं।
Chief ministers who have been
जिसमें
able to
केंद्रीय
achieve
सरकार
so
की
much
महत्वपूर्ण
in
भूमिका केंद्र सरकार की हो सकती है, इस विषय की बात कर रहा हूँ।
Uddhav Thackeray claiming? How can he say that now suddenly this has become an issue and it was a non-issue in the last 2.5 years? How can that be?
No, the other question, once again, Rajulakshmi, the other question I want to raise to Abhishek is कि आप कह रहे हैं कि इसमें केंद्र सरकार की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है, लेकिन आप क्या चाह रहे हैं कि केंद्र सरकार क्या कर लेगी? जब ये मैटर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है, तो आप केंद्र सरकार से क्यों इंटरवेंशन चाह रहे हैं?
नहीं, केंद्र सरकार से मैं ऐसा कुछ नहीं, लेकिन कहीं न कहीं ये देखो, कहने की बात नहीं कि भारत देश के लोकतंत्र में सन 2014 के बाद जो परिवर्तन आंतरिक रूप से देखने को मिले हैं, इसको कोई अनदेखा नहीं कर सकता है। यहाँ तक कि कहीं न कहीं इस माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय तक इन्फ्लुएंस्ड होता है सरकारों के माध्यम से, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। आप इस चीज को मैं आपके नेशनल टीवी के माध्यम से कहना चाहता हूँ, केंद्रीय सरकार की भूमिका कहाँ पे है? क्या माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के किसी विषय पे उनका जो है इंटरफेयर नहीं होता? ये कहना बिल्कुल गलत।
मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा। whatever you are saying about influence on, once again, whatever you are saying about the influence of the judiciary, Abhishek, these are purely your views. From accusing that the central government is favoring one chief minister, you've now gone to saying the central government is influencing judiciary. You may be held responsible for your own comments, but you're not answering. You're not answering my fundamental question.
Chief Justice of India, Gogoi ji,
you are not answering my fundamental question, which is that right now Uddhav Thackeray has made this suggestion. Where was this suggestion all of these years? In fact, he was formerly with the BJP, right? Uddhav Thackeray also was formerly an alliance partner of the BJP. Even at that time, he never recommended this suggestion. आज ही क्यों कर रहे हैं?
माननीय अभी जो प्रवक्ता महोदया बैठी हुई भाजपा के पक्ष रख रही है यहाँ पे, मैं उनसे एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ।
आप मेरे सवाल का तो जवाब दीजिए। क्या उद्धव ठाकरे पहले भाजपा के सहयोगी नहीं थे?
2.5 साल के पूरे फेलों की बात नहीं, मैं इस विषय पे, इस मुद्दे बात करना चाह रहा हूँ।
इसी मुद्दे पे मैं बात कर रही हूँ। मैं 2014 तक नहीं जा रही हूँ। मैं तो आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि उद्धव ठाकरे भी तो भाजपा के समर्थी थे, तब तो उन्होंने नहीं बोला।
शिवसेना ने कभी भी नैतिकता के आधार पर जहां उनको सपोर्ट देना सपोर्ट दिया, हाँ। और जहां उनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन रेज करना था क्वेश्चन भी रेज किया। आप पूरे
तो बताइए ना, ये सजेशन आज क्यों, पहले क्यों नहीं? सजेशन देने में तो कोई रोक नहीं है। आज वो तो गवर्नमेंट में भी नहीं है, फिर भी सजेशन रख रहे हैं। जब गवर्नमेंट में थे तब भी नहीं रखा।
हमारा देश लोकतांत्रिक देश है, सजेशन मैं रख सकता हूँ। जो जरूरी नहीं कि वो पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री उस स्टेट के रहे, उनकी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका भी है।
मैं तो यही कह रही हूँ,
विपक्ष में बैठे हुए क्यों सजेशन नहीं रख सकते?
मुद्दा है
सुझाव रखने के नैतिक अधिकार।
अरे बट जब आप चेयर पे थे, जब आप कुर्सी पे थे, तब आपने क्यों नहीं पहल करी?
कुर्सी की बताए कभी क्या चारों टांगे बराबर से भाजपा रहने दिया?
एक बहाना है आपके लिए। ये आपके लिए ये कोई इमोशनल मामला है नहीं, आपके लिए ये कोई और इशू है नहीं, ये सिर्फ एक राजनीतिक मामला है आपके लिए, मुद्दा है।
आप लोग राष्ट्रीय पार्टी कहीं न कहीं हम जहां तक जानते हैं शिवसेना पार्टी हमारा जरूर क्षेत्रीय दल है, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र से पहला लगा उसका है। और ये इमोशनल वाला जो बात आप कर रहे हो, आप लोग इमोशनल कार्ड खेलते हो, लेकिन शिवसेना कभी इमोशनल कार्ड खेलती नहीं है। वहां के महाराष्ट्र के लोगों के लिए काम करती है।
नहीं खेल रहे तो और क्या कर रहे हैं?
इमोशनल कार्ड क्या होता है? महाराष्ट्र के लोगों का पूर्ण विश्वास है।
आप उसको उसी तरीके से उसको सॉल्व करने दीजिए। लेट इट बी सॉल्व्ड।
हमारे ही पदाधिकारी, हमारे ही कार्यकर्ता काट कर, हमारे सांसद विधायकों काट कर आपने सरकार।
I'll just leave it at that. Is Belgavi really being used by all sides for politics right now? In Karnataka, there's a different situation. In Maharashtra, there's a completely different situation. I leave it at that. I do thank both of our guests for joining us. Time for a very short debate, for a very short break. Coming up on the other side, we focus on what's happening in Pakistan, especially vis-a-vis the terror threat it's facing from the TTP. Is terror exporter Pakistan now becoming the victim of terror?